Welcome to Quick Summary. Today we're discussing The Subtle Art of Not Giving Fuck by Mark Manson, published in 2016. This book challenges the usual advice of always staying positive and striving for success at any cost. Instead, it suggests that life isn't about avoiding failure or discomfort, but choosing which struggles are worth your time and energy. In this summary, you'll learn how to face life's difficulties with clarity and purpose. The book teaches that embracing challenges, taking responsibility for your actions, and setting boundaries are key to personal growth and true fulfillment. It also explores how understanding the difference between fault and responsibility, grasping the concept of maturity, and accepting the power of being average can strengthen you. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content. Lesson 1. The Not Giving a Damn Philosophy. The main idea of the book is that we all have a limited amount of energy and attention to give each day. Imagine you start each day with a set number of golden coins, each representing your care and focus. Throughout the day, many things will ask for your coins: your job, family, news, social media, and various concerns. The key is to be selective with how you spend these coins. If you give away a coin to everything that asks, you'll soon run out of coins for the things that truly matter to you. This philosophy isn't about not caring at all. It's about carefully choosing where to invest your care. Some things, like trivial comments on social media or minor inconveniences, might not be worth your precious coins. Instead, save them for what truly matters, such as your health, family, or important goals. Life has many ups and downs, and if you spend your energy reacting to every little issue, you'll end up exhausted and unhappy. By being selective about where you spend your coins, you take control of your focus and energy. It's not about being unfeeling. It's about making strong choices and focusing on what benefits you. This approach isn't easy. Sometimes it's hard to let go of minor worries and not give in to external pressures. But by managing your coins wisely, life can become simpler and more focused. You'll have more energy for what you love, and minor annoyances won't affect you as much. This way, you can navigate life's chaos while keeping your attention and energy directed at what truly matters. Lesson 2. Embracing negative experiences. Life isn't always smooth. It's more like a roller coaster with ups and downs. Instead of just seeing the tough times as obstacles, consider that these negative experiences might actually be important for your growth. What if the bad times, rather than being just hurdles, are necessary for learning and becoming stronger? When something goes wrong, our first instinct is often to avoid it or distract ourselves from it. But what if instead we faced these challenges head on? It's not about seeking out pain or enjoying suffering, but recognizing that there is value in difficult moments. For example, failing at something you worked hard for can be painful, but it often teaches you a lesson. It might help you build resilience, show you new paths, or ignite a stronger desire to try again. Even small annoyances, like being stuck in traffic or dealing with a challenging person, offer chances to practice patience and understanding. This approach doesn't mean ignoring real pain or tragedy. Those require compassion and care. But for everyday struggles, seeing them as opportunities to grow can make a big difference. Embracing these difficulties helps you become more adaptable and resilient. Each struggle acts like a weight in a gym, making you stronger over time. By accepting and facing tough times, you're accepting all aspects of life and learning to handle challenges better. This perspective might make negative experiences feel less overwhelming and help you grow from them. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe to our channel for more summaries. Feel free to comment with your thoughts on the book's ideas. We appreciate your support. Now, let's keep going. Lesson 3. You are not special. Here's a hard truth. Out of more than 7 billion people in the world, it's unlikely that you'll be the most extraordinary or exceptional. This doesn't mean you lack unique qualities or can't achieve great things, but it challenges the pressure to be the absolute best or stand out. From a young age, many of us are told we can be anything we want and that we're destined for greatness. While this encouragement is meant to inspire, it can also lead to unrealistic expectations. It sets up the idea that if you're not exceptional, you're failing. Instead, consider this: being average might actually be okay. Rather than chasing unreachable heights, finding contentment in the everyday can be fulfilling. It's not about giving up on goals, but about valuing personal success and growth over flashy achievements. Realizing you're not the center of the universe and that greatness isn't guaranteed can be liberating. It reduces the pressure and helps you appreciate small victories and simple pleasures. It encourages you to focus on hard work, resilience, and personal growth rather than just being seen as special. This perspective also helps you connect with others. Understanding that everyone has their own struggles and successes fosters empathy and shared human experience. Embracing your own ordinariness can lead to a more genuine and satisfying life. It's about living each day with purpose and authenticity, not about standing out, but about living well and appreciating what you have. Lesson 4. The value of suffering. Suffering is usually something we try to avoid because it's painful and uncomfortable. However, there may be something valuable in those tough times. What if the struggles and challenges you face are actually important parts of living a meaningful life? Consider the times you faced difficulties for something you cared deeply about. For example, staying up late to complete a project you were passionate about, pushing through tough workouts to achieve a fitness goal, or enduring heartache that taught you about love and strength. These experiences, though hard, often lead to growth and rewards that are deeply fulfilling. Suffering itself isn't inherently good or bad. It's neutral. The significance comes from the reasons behind it and the meaning you attach to it. When you endure suffering for something important, like your values, loved ones, or dreams, it can be a transformative experience. On the other hand, suffering without purpose is just pain. This type of suffering occurs when you stress over trivial matters or chase after superficial goals that don't align with your true values. It's pain that doesn't lead to growth, but might just lead to more discomfort. So it's not about seeking suffering or putting yourself through unnecessary pain. It's about recognizing that suffering is a part of life and understanding the reasons behind it. By choosing what's worth suffering for and facing those challenges, you can see obstacles as chances to build resilience and learn more about what truly matters to you. This shift in perspective can make suffering feel less burdensome and help you lead a more meaningful, fulfilling life. Lesson 5. Taking responsibility. Taking responsibility means owning up to your life and understanding that your choices and actions shape your reality. This doesn't mean you're to blame for everything that happens to you. Life can be random and unfair, and sometimes you face challenges you didn't cause. The important thing is how you respond to these challenges. For example, if someone bumps into your car, it's not your fault, but how you handle the situation is up to you. You can choose to get angry and let it ruin your day, or you can deal with the insurance calmly and move on. Your reaction is your responsibility. Taking responsibility also means avoiding the blame game. Instead of making excuses or blaming others for your unhappiness, you focus on what you can control. By taking charge of your actions and reactions, you empower yourself to make positive changes. It also involves taking charge of your emotions and well-being. No one else can make you happy or fulfilled. It's up to you to create a life that reflects your values, set boundaries, and seek out what brings you joy. This doesn't mean being perfect or never making mistakes, but rather reflecting honestly on your experiences and making conscious choices. In essence, Taking responsibility is about recognizing that you have the power to shape your own life. It's a way of approaching life that removes you from a victim mindset and puts you in control of creating a fulfilling and meaningful existence. Lesson 6. Embracing uncertainty for growth. Uncertainty can feel unsettling, like walking in the fog where you can't see what's ahead. But this uncertainty can actually be a powerful place for growth. It's where you learn new things, adapt, and uncover strengths you had. Consider when you started something new, like a job or a hobby. At first, it was unfamiliar and uncomfortable. You made mistakes and had to learn as you went. Despite the challenges, this uncertainty helped you gain new skills, confidence, and knowledge that you wouldn't have developed if you'd stayed in your comfort zone. Sticking only to what you know feels safe, but limits your experiences. It's like being in a small, well-lit area where you know everything, but there's a whole world of possibilities beyond that. Facing uncertainty is like expanding that light. Even though it's challenging, it opens up richer, more varied experiences. Embracing uncertainty means accepting that you won't always have all the answers. It involves being curious, asking questions, and being open to new possibilities. It's about getting comfortable with discomfort because it often signals growth and change. Instead of trying to control every detail, which is both exhausting and often impossible, focus on what you can control: your efforts, attitudes, and actions. While uncertainty can be intimidating, it's also where you learn the most about yourself and the world. It's an opportunity to explore, try new things, and grow in ways you might not if you stayed in a predictable and controlled environment. Lesson 7. Embracing failure as a path to success. Failure often feels like a negative experience. It's associated with setbacks and disappointment. But instead of seeing it as a problem, consider failure as a valuable part of the journey toward success. When you try something and it doesn't work out, it's normal to feel let down. However, each failure teaches you something important. It reveals what doesn't work and helps you find new ways to approach your goals. Think of it like a scientist who learns from failed experiments to eventually find the right solution. Failure also means you're pushing your boundaries and trying new things. If you're not experiencing any failures, you might be sticking to what you already know and avoiding real challenges. True growth happens when you step outside your comfort zone and face new difficulties. Dealing with failure builds important qualities like resilience, humility, and determination. Success is easier when everything is going well, but true strength is shown when you handle setbacks with perseverance and grace. It's about getting up after a failure, learning from it, and trying again with more insight. Moreover, failing doesn't define your worth. Just because something didn't succeed doesn't mean you're a failure. It means you're courageous enough to take risks and pursue your goals, knowing that not every attempt will succeed. So, rather than seeing failure as a setback, view it as a necessary and helpful part of your journey. Embracing failure allows you to learn, innovate, and eventually achieve success. Lesson 8. The power of saying no. Saying no might seem small, but it's an important skill. Many people find it hard to say no because they worry about disappointing others or appearing rude. However, saying no is essential for setting boundaries and managing your time effectively. Every time you agree to something, you're choosing not to do something else, whether you realize it or not. Your time is limited, so if you say yes to everything, you might end up with less time for what truly matters to you. That's why it's important to be selective and say no to things that don't fit your values or that don't bring you happiness. Saying no also means respecting your own limits. You're only human, so you need time to rest, pursue your interests, and spend time with loved ones. By saying no when necessary, you avoid overloading yourself and prevent burnout. Moreover, saying no can create space for better opportunities. Just like cleaning out your closet makes room for new clothes that fit well, saying no frees up time and energy for things that truly align with your goals and passions. Saying no also helps others understand and respect your boundaries. When you're clear about what you can and can't take on, people learn to value your time and commitments. It might feel awkward at first, but it leads to healthier, more respectful relationships. To say no without feeling guilty or causing hard feelings, keep it simple and honest. You don't need to provide lengthy explanations. A straightforward, "I'm sorry, but I can't commit to that right now," or "Thank you for thinking of me, but I'll have to pass," is often enough. In essence, saying no is a form of self-care. It's not about being selfish. It's about making sure you have the time and energy to focus on what's most important to you. Even though it's a small word, it's a powerful way to create a life that feels right and fulfilling. Lesson 9. Escaping the happiness trap. The hedonic treadmill is a concept that explains how we quickly get used to things that initially make us happy. Imagine running on a treadmill where no matter how fast you go, you never really get anywhere. That's like our pursuit of happiness. You might feel excited about a new job, a fancy car, or a big purchase, but soon that excitement fades, and you're left wanting more. This cycle of constantly seeking new things for happiness can be exhausting and never-ending. To break free from this cycle, focus on appreciating what you already have. Instead of chasing after more money, bigger achievements, or more possessions, try to find joy in the everyday moments and the things you already enjoy. Happiness isn't about having the latest or best. It's about making the most of what you have right now. Recognize that happiness isn't a permanent state or a final destination. It's not something you can achieve by acquiring things. Instead, happiness comes from your relationships, your pursuits, and how you engage with life. It's a series of moments and choices, not a single unchanging feeling. Also, understand that experiencing sadness, frustration, or disappointment is a normal part of life. These feelings can help you grow and make the happy times even more meaningful. Instead of constantly pursuing the next big thing, try to step off the treadmill. Slow down, be present, and find satisfaction in your current life. It's not always easy, but it leads to a more lasting and fulfilling sense of happiness. Lesson 10. Using the awareness of death to live fully. Thinking about death can be uncomfortable, but it's something we all face eventually. Surprisingly, realizing that our time is limited can actually motivate us to live more fully. When we recognize that life doesn't last forever, it helps us see what really matters and encourages us to take action. When you think about death, it helps you focus on what's truly important. It makes you ask questions like, what do I want my life to be remembered for? Or, what kind of impact do I want to have? These questions aren't about being morbid. They're about finding clarity. They guide us to make choices that align with our core values. This awareness also brings our attention to the present. Knowing that our time is finite encourages us to appreciate the people we care about and to not delay doing things that are meaningful to us. It's not about feeling rushed or anxious. It's about living with purpose and making the most of each day. In essence, thinking about death can push us to live intentionally and fully. It's a reminder that while our time is limited, it's also a chance to create a life that feels rich and meaningful. Lesson 11. Understanding fault versus responsibility. Knowing the difference between fault and responsibility can help you handle situations better. Fault is about finding out who is to blame for something, while responsibility is about taking charge of what happens, no matter who caused it. For example, if a storm damages your house, it's not your fault because you didn't create the storm, but it's still your responsibility to repair the damage. Complaining about the storm won't fix anything, so focusing on what you can do is key. In life, you'll face unexpected challenges that aren't always your fault. You can choose to blame others or situations, but that won't help you move forward. Instead, taking responsibility means actively working to improve your situation. This might involve fixing a problem, seeking help, or accepting things you can't change. Taking responsibility is about being proactive rather than reactive. It means acknowledging that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you can control how you respond and what actions you take. It's a powerful way to regain control and shape your own path, turning challenges into opportunities for growth and change. Lesson 12. The power of commitment. Commitment is more than just sticking with something. It's about focusing your energy on what's truly important to you. When you commit, you're choosing to dedicate yourself to one path, goal, or relationship instead of spreading yourself thin across many different things. Without commitment, you might feel scattered and unfocused, trying to juggle too many tasks or goals at once. It's like trying to catch every rabbit you see. You'll end up catching none. On the other hand, commitment is like choosing one rabbit and focusing all your efforts on catching it. Sticking with a commitment isn't always easy. It means making hard choices and sometimes passing up other opportunities. It's about continuing to put in the effort, even when the initial excitement wears off. But this dedication is where real growth and success happen. When you commit, you give yourself the chance to excel, build something meaningful, and form deep connections. Commitment also involves trust, trusting yourself to follow through, trusting the process, and believing that the hard work will pay off. It's not about limiting your options, but about giving yourself the chance to succeed in one area. By committing, you direct your time and talents where they can make the biggest difference, leading to a more fulfilling and purposeful life. Lesson 13. The do something principle. The do something principle is all about taking action rather than waiting for the right time or feeling. Instead of waiting until you feel motivated or inspired to start a task, start doing something right away, and your motivation will often follow. The idea is simple. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the right mood. Instead, take any small step toward your goal. This action can help build momentum and make it easier to keep going. For example, if you need to clean your house but don't feel like it, just start with one small task, like washing one dish. Once you begin, you might find it easier to continue and finish the job. Action creates momentum. Every small step you take builds on the previous one, bringing you closer to your goal. It's like pushing a car. It's hardest at first, but once it starts moving, it becomes easier to keep going. Whether it's working on a project, exercising, or making progress on a goal, taking even a tiny step can help you overcome the inertia of not starting. The do something principle is about taking control and creating your own motivation. It's about acting now rather than waiting for the perfect conditions. By starting small and building up, you can move past stagnation and make steady progress toward your goals. Lesson 14. Rejection of entitlement. Rejection of entitlement means letting go of the belief that you automatically deserve something just because of who you are. Instead of expecting success, love, or respect to come to you without effort, this idea emphasizes that these things are earned through hard work and action. Feeling entitled is like sitting at a table with an empty plate, expecting it to be filled without doing any cooking. This mindset often leads to disappointment and frustration because the world doesn't always give you what you think you deserve. To move away from entitlement, focus on putting in the effort to achieve your goals. Understand that if you want something, you need to actively work towards it. It's also about staying humble and recognizing that everyone has their own challenges. The world doesn't owe you anything. Your worth is based on what you do and how you interact with others. Rejecting entitlement puts you in control of your own life. It means taking responsibility for your actions and realizing that you have the power to shape your future through your choices. This approach encourages you to stop waiting for things to come to you and start actively working towards building the life you want. It's about earning what you get and taking pride in the effort you put into achieving your dreams. Lesson 15. The importance of boundaries. Boundaries are like a fence around your property. They define where your personal space ends and where others' space begins. In life, setting boundaries is about knowing what you're comfortable with and what you're not. It helps you establish clear rules for how you want to be treated and what you will accept from others. Having strong boundaries protects your well-being. It prevents others from taking advantage of you and helps you maintain your peace and self-respect. Boundaries are not just about saying no to things that don't work for you. They're also about saying yes to what truly matters. They ensure you have space for things and people that enrich your life. Setting boundaries is also a way of showing care for others. By clearly communicating your limits, you help people understand how to interact with you properly. It's like giving them a map so they know where they stand and can avoid misunderstandings. While setting boundaries can be challenging, especially if you're not used to it, it's an important part of self-respect. If someone reacts negatively to your boundaries, it may be because they were benefiting from the lack of them. Overall, boundaries are essential for maintaining healthy relationships and ensuring that you are treated with the respect you deserve. They help you take control of your life and interactions with others. Lesson 16. Reframing our values. Reframing our values means taking a close look at what we consider important and possibly changing our focus. Imagine sorting through your closet. You decide which clothes you actually wear and which ones are just clutter. Similarly, we all have values, beliefs, and priorities that guide our actions. However, sometimes we hold on to values that don't benefit us or make us happy, like needing everyone's approval or striving for perfection. Reframing your values involves asking yourself if your current values are truly worth your time and energy. It's about choosing values that improve your life, such as honesty, kindness, or hard work. These are values that make you feel good about yourself, not just about what you achieve or possess. This isn't a one-time task, but an ongoing process. Just like you would check your map during a hike to stay on course, you should periodically reassess your values to ensure they align with your evolving goals and needs. By focusing on more meaningful values, you set yourself up for genuine happiness. You stop chasing after things that don't matter and start prioritizing what truly enriches your life. This shift helps you focus on the bigger picture and live a more fulfilling life. Lesson 17. The dangers of success. The dangers of success refer to the unexpected issues that can arise when you achieve your goals. Imagine reaching the top of a mountain only to find it's lonely or less thrilling than you anticipated. Success often brings new challenges rather than solving all your problems. One issue with success is the pressure to maintain it. You might worry about losing your achievements or feel the need to constantly outdo yourself. Success can also affect your relationships. Friends might behave differently, perhaps out of jealousy or distance, making it hard to know who is truly supportive. Additionally, focusing too much on success can make you miss out on other important aspects of life. If you're obsessed with achievements, you might forget to enjoy the journey or spend time with loved ones. Success isn't inherently bad, but it's important to balance it with other parts of life. Remembering that who you are is more important than what you accomplish can help you stay grounded and find joy in the process, not just the end result. Lesson 18. Manson's Law of Avoidance. Manson's Law of Avoidance is about how we tend to avoid things that scare or stress us out, which often makes them seem even more intimidating. Imagine you have a pile of dirty dishes, and instead of dealing with them, you keep walking past, hoping they'll somehow clean themselves. The longer you ignore the mess, the bigger it feels, and the more you dread tackling it. This law explains that the more we try to avoid something uncomfortable or scary, the more it seems to grow and become overwhelming. For instance, if you're nervous about talking to new people, the more you avoid it, the scarier it becomes in your mind. You start worrying about all the things that could go wrong and feel like it's easier just to stay away. However, when you finally face what you're avoiding, you often find it's not as bad as you imagined. It's like doing those dishes and realizing it only took a short time and wasn't that difficult after all. The law highlights that avoiding problems can make them seem bigger and more frightening, but dealing with them directly usually makes them seem much more manageable. It's a reminder that confronting our fears and challenges is often less scary than we think and can help us handle more than we expected. Lesson 19. Choosing struggle. Choosing struggle is about accepting that life always has its challenges. No matter what, you can't avoid difficulties entirely, so it's better to choose which struggles you're willing to face. Imagine picking a pet. Each one, whether it's a dog, a cat, or a hamster, comes with its own set of care needs and potential hassles. You choose the pet whose specific challenges you don't mind dealing with, like walking a dog or cleaning a cat's litter box. In life, every worthwhile goal involves some form of struggle. For instance, becoming a skilled musician means you'll need to practice a lot, even when it's tough. Building a strong relationship requires working through arguments and hard times. Choosing struggle means figuring out which difficulties you're willing to endure. It's understanding that achieving meaningful things in life comes with its own set of challenges and accepting those as part of the journey. So instead of trying to avoid difficulties, focus on the struggles that lead to what you truly value. It's about acknowledging that while some things may be hard, they are worth it because they bring you closer to your goals and desires. Lesson 20. Death as an effective motivator. Thinking about death might seem a bit grim, but it can actually push you to live your life more fully. It's similar to how you suddenly get focused on important tasks when your phone's battery is low. When you realize that life is limited, it's like getting a wake-up call. You start to think, am I spending my time on what really matters to me? Little problems, like someone being rude or missing a bus, start to seem less important. Think of life as a party that will eventually end. Knowing this might make you want to make the most of every moment, dance freely, express your feelings to loved ones, and enjoy every bit of the experience. Remembering that life won't last forever isn't meant to make you sad or scared. Instead, it's meant to motivate you to focus on what's truly important and to let go of minor worries. It's like saying to yourself, since this journey won't last forever, I should make it as meaningful and enjoyable as possible. Lesson 21. The backwards law. The backwards law is an interesting idea that suggests the more you chase after things like happiness or success, the harder they are to achieve. Imagine you're really hungry and trying to open a jar of pickles. The more you struggle with it, the more the lid seems to stay stuck. But if you relax and stop focusing on the jar so much, it often opens more easily. This law means that sometimes, the best way to get what you want is to stop obsessing over it. It's like when you stop trying to impress someone, they end up being impressed on their own. It's about being okay with where you are right now, rather than stressing about getting to a different place. When you ease up and don't put so much pressure on yourself, things often start to fall into place. It's almost as if life rewards you for not being too fixated on your goals. Lesson 22. The importance of context. The importance of context is about realizing that things don't happen in isolation. They're always part of a bigger picture. Imagine watching a movie. You can't just judge a character by one scene. To understand the full story, you need to know what happened before, the character's background, and the setting. In everyday life, this means understanding the full context of a situation. For example, if someone cuts you off in traffic, you might think they're rude, but if you knew they were rushing to the hospital, you'd see things differently. That's the power of context. Context also means recognizing that different situations call for different responses. Being loud and funny might be perfect at a party, but inappropriate at a library. So, understanding context helps you see beyond the immediate moment and make better decisions. It's about seeing the bigger picture and navigating through life's complexities with a fuller understanding. Lesson 23. Pleasure versus happiness. There's a big difference between feeling good for a short time and being truly happy. Feeling good is like enjoying your favorite ice cream or watching a fun show. It gives you immediate joy, but doesn't last long. This is what we call pleasure. Short-term, quick hits of enjoyment. Happiness, on the other hand, is more about the bigger picture. It's not about fleeting moments, but about feeling good about your life overall. True happiness comes from long-term achievements, like facing challenges, personal growth, and building meaningful relationships or skills. Sometimes, things that lead to real happiness don't feel great right away. For instance, working out might be hard and uncomfortable at the time, but it leaves you feeling fantastic afterward because it's good for your long-term well-being. So, if you focus only on quick pleasures, you might miss out on deeper, lasting happiness. It's like eating candy when you're hungry. It satisfies you temporarily, but doesn't nourish you in the long run. Understanding the difference between pleasure and happiness helps you make choices that contribute to real, lasting satisfaction in your life. It's about focusing on what truly adds value, rather than just seeking momentary enjoyment. Lesson 24. Maturity as a metric. Maturity isn't just about getting older or having a lot of responsibilities. It's more about how you handle the tough situations life throws at you. Imagine life is a series of challenges. Maturity shows up in how you deal with these challenges. Do you react by complaining or blaming others? Or do you stay calm, understand what happened, and learn from it? The ability to learn and grow from difficult situations is what defines maturity. Being mature also means knowing what you can and can't control. For example, you can't change the weather, so getting upset about it is pointless. Instead, focus on what you can control, like your own actions and attitudes. Maturity involves taking responsibility for your mistakes. Everyone makes errors, but mature people own up to them, apologize if necessary, and aim to improve. Moreover, mature people understand that they don't know everything. They are open to new ideas, willing to learn, and can admit when they're wrong. So, maturity isn't about your age. It's about how you manage your life, learn from experiences, and treat others. It's like an invisible measure of your attitude and how well you handle life's ups and downs. Lesson 25. Rejection of black and white thinking. Life isn't just about clear-cut categories like good and bad or success and failure. It's much more complex. When you only see things in black and white, you miss out on the full picture. People, for instance, aren't purely good or bad. We all have a mix of traits and make mistakes, but we're also trying our best. The same applies to situations. A setback, like not getting a job or ending a relationship, might seem like a failure at first, but if you look more closely, you'll often find useful lessons and new opportunities that come from these experiences. Seeing only in black and white limits your perspective and makes life seem more difficult. Life is richer and more interesting when you appreciate its variety and complexity. Just like a photo is more vivid because of its range of colors, understanding that life has many shades can help you see things more clearly. It doesn't mean you don't have strong beliefs or values. It just means you're open to different perspectives and willing to adjust your views as you learn more. So, try to move beyond black and white thinking. Embracing the full spectrum of experiences and viewpoints makes life more nuanced and meaningful. Lesson 26. Acceptance of imperfection. Let's talk about imperfections. They're everywhere, including in ourselves and what we do. Chasing after perfection is like trying to catch the wind. It's impossible, and trying to do so only causes frustration. Think about those perfect photos you see on social media. They look amazing, but they only show a small part of reality. Behind those perfect snapshots are real, imperfect lives, just like yours. Life is messy and unpredictable, and that's normal. Everyone has flaws, and that's what makes us unique. Mistakes and imperfections are what make life interesting and give us the chance to learn and grow. If we were perfect, life would be boring, with nothing new to learn or overcome. Accepting imperfection doesn't mean you stop trying to improve. It means you're okay with being human, with making mistakes, and with not being perfect. It's about doing your best and understanding that sometimes you'll succeed and sometimes you won't. So, embrace your imperfections, laugh at your mistakes, learn from them, and keep moving forward. It's not about having a flawless life, but about having a real, engaging one. Lesson 27. Challenging the cult of exceptionalism. There's a popular belief that to be valuable, you need to be exceptional, better than everyone else. It's like a constant competition to be the most unique, successful, or famous. If you're not at the top, you might feel like you're not good enough. But this mindset can be tough. If everyone is trying to be the best, many people will end up feeling inadequate because not everyone can be the richest or most famous. Most of us live ordinary lives, and that's perfectly okay. Life isn't a continuous adventure like in the movies. For many people, it's about simple, meaningful moments, sharing a laugh with friends, enjoying a quiet evening at home, or feeling proud of a job well done. These everyday experiences may not make headlines, but they make life fulfilling and worth celebrating. Chasing the idea of being exceptional can make you overlook the value of these small everyday moments. Instead of always striving for greatness, it's important to appreciate the present and the ordinary aspects of life. Being a good friend, a supportive family member, or a kind neighbor might not win you awards, but these actions make life richer and more meaningful. So, instead of putting pressure on yourself to be extraordinary, embrace who you are. You have your own unique mix of skills and qualities, and that's valuable in itself. Enjoy where you are and appreciate the view from your own place in life. Lesson 28. The role of values in decision-making. Every day you make a lot of decisions, from simple ones like what to have for breakfast, to bigger choices about your career or relationships. What guides these decisions? It's your values, the things you believe are important. Think of values as a compass. They help you decide what's right for you. For example, if you value honesty, you'll choose to tell the truth even when it's difficult. If you love adventure, you might choose a job that lets you travel rather than one that keeps you in an office. Sometimes, though, the values you follow might not be your own. They could be influenced by family, friends, or what you see in the media. If you're not living by values that truly reflect who you are, you might find yourself in a job you don't enjoy or in relationships that don't fit. That's why it's important to understand your own values. What really matters to you, not just what others think should matter. Knowing your true values makes decision-making easier because you have a clear sense of direction. It's like having a personal guide to help you choose the best path. When you make decisions based on what truly matters to you, life feels more meaningful. You're not just going through the motions, you're creating a life that reflects your true self. So, take time to figure out what you really care about and what gets you excited. These insights will help you make choices that lead to a fulfilling life that's uniquely yours. Thanks for tuning in to this quick summary. Did you find this audiobook summary helpful? If you enjoyed this audiobook summary, please like, subscribe, and share with others to help us spread the knowledge.